Hello, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Checking In with Brando. Today, I got a special guest. I got my guy, got my Brody, the written voice of a generation, of a quiet generation. My boy Dylan, how you doing, man?
I'm good, brother. How you been?
Bro, I'm pretty solid, man. I'm just enjoying the progress I'm making, bro. It's
Yeah,
been
I
a
see you.
journey, bro.
I see you. If you guys don't follow Brandon on Snapchat, he's always working. He's always putting something up and guiding people to a good life, dude. You guide people to a lot of light. That's one of the things that I love. I love when you hop on there and you're just doing your thing, bro. That's one of the big things that I love is like you don't care. You're like, I'm gonna be me. I think that's a big deal. That's a big deal, bro.
Yeah, bro, it means a lot to me to hear you say that because you're somebody I know for sure that just it's just them. Like you just live your truth, bro. And it's like seeing you do your thing, like bro, like that just like it does something to me. Like it inspires me, bro. So it's like I can't like I have no choice but to work and be the best at who I am and live my truth. And try to be the best person I can be.
Dude, I think that's one of the things that like a lot of people don't get is like at the end of the day, I just explained this to someone the other day and I used a really good metaphor and I'll use it now. It's like if you look at the whole universe, the whole thing, whether you're religious or you're scientific or whatever, like at the end of the day, out of everybody and how big everything is, you're literally like a speck of dust. So
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna make my speck of dust as happy as I possibly can
Yeah,
because like it doesn't matter down the road what you think of my speck of dust because it's just gonna get blown in the wind, bro. It's just part
bro.
of history, and you know.
Yeah, man, that is so real, bro. And like, dog, I
Mm-hmm.
literally like I was talking to my boy Corey about this the other day, man. Like when we was like younger, like in high school, middle school, he's like, oh my gosh, like we gotta change the world, we gotta make the world a better place and this and that. But it's like, no, actuality, like the best thing you could probably do is like do something like with the people like you love, like help them, the best way you can. And then like hopefully somebody else like tries to copy that same type of blueprint.
Dude, I think one of the things that a lot of people don't get is like there's a lot of people that are okay with working a 9 to 5, and there's nothing wrong with it. There's nothing wrong with being happy with waking up 8 o'clock, 7:30, going to work, coming home and being with your family and friends and like impacting them.
Mhm.
Because you don't have to impact the entire world, but impacting the people you love is like the big what matters.
Yeah.
Because those are the people that like will miss you when you're gone, not the people that are like, oh, they could have changed other things throughout the world, and it's like they did what they could.
Yeah, bro. That's so real, bro. Cause like I'm not gonna lie to you, like something that it kind of irks me a little bit, irritates me a little bit. Is like when I see like these business guys, like they be on a YouTube ad. Oh, you want to make a quick 7 figures? You want to become a millionaire? Just take these 3 easy steps. But then,
Right?
they be like, oh, you need to be an entrepreneur, but it's like not everybody like wants to go down that path.
No, not at all. Not at all, dude. There's like how many people work trade jobs that like I'm working for a movie company now and I love doing it. But like there's a lot of people that I know in our generation and stuff that don't want to do the work and do it. And it's like, but they're doing something that I don't want to do. I don't want to be an accountant. I don't want to go sit at a desk and do math all day, or I don't want to be in a science lab. Like that's stuff I don't want to do. I want to be up on my feet moving things, and I'm picking up things that I would have never learned if I was behind that. And it's like what you're saying is like the money at the end of the day just don't always matter. If you got some faith in something and you believe in yourself, like manage with what you got and go off it. Be happy because like a great quote that I know is like money is like a breath, dude. If you hold your breath, you let go of it. But if you
Yeah.
breathe, it comes back. That's
Mm.
like that's how it works, man. That's the same thing with money, it's the same thing with relationships. Like that's a big thing that I got a board upstairs in my room that's got a whiteboard and I've written down things. Like
Yeah.
that's what I've been doing. I've been goal setting and things that I want to do every day or things that I need to tell myself every day. And one of them is to let it go and to breathe, let it come back, because if
Mm.
you don't, man, it's like you suffocate yourself a lot, you know?
Yeah.
And
So
that's the problem is a lot of people upset like that. Like, just breathe. You'll figure it out. It'll happen. Things don't change in one day unless it's like not as significant, you know?
yeah, like that's so true, bro. Cause like on like the day to day, you feel like, oh, like I'm going through like this whole cycle of doing like the same things, but then like you look back like over like 6 months or so, you can say, oh my gosh, so many things have changed.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, what? Like, how did all this stuff change? But like every day still feels the same, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, it's that, dude, it's the common saying. People are like, same shit every day, same shit, new day. And it's like, it's not though, you know, like the way you interact with the people around you is different every single day. And
Mhm.
even if you didn't do something the night before, what if they had something going on? If you care about the person or want to know, like ask, you know, because that changes you. Because then you go home and think about different things. I think what you were saying is a big thing is like the 6 month change. Like I just thought about it, like, I want to say like a week or two ago, and I looked at the last 6 months, and I was like, dude, and like for me now looking at it is like it's a flash. I graduated college.
Yeah.
I went to like 5, 6 different states, just visiting friends, seeing people, and traveling.
Hmm.
I started my master's degree. I started a new job, and I like look at it like in the last week, and I was like, damn, I've been doing this for moving for now like 2 months. It's been forever. And then in reality, it's like, wow, a lot's changed in 6 months, dude.
Yeah,
Like that saying life is too short is so true,
yeah, bro.
especially if you just look at it in 6 month increments, you know? And that's the work and that's the hustle like people don't get is like 6 months is a lot, man. It's a
Oh, man.
lot in life.
Yeah, bro. Bro, like, I could like think back like 6 months ago, like when me and Justin, like with the podcast, we're thinking about like, all right, how can we improve like our podcast quality and things like that? How can we get better with our conversations? And it's
Mhm.
like now, like we've actually met those standards, you know, and like we came up with some new ones now. You know,
Mhm.
it's like, bro, like just the thing like 6 months ago, we wasn't even thinking like this, like how are we going to even do like how is that even possible?
Yeah,
You know? And it's like
bro,
even
it's
like something
crazy.
as simple as like recording like or having like a visuals, you know, like at first like we wasn't doing that, bro. But it was just
Yeah.
strictly just audio. Well
Yeah.
look at us now, man.
Exactly. No, that's exactly it, dude. And people like you don't realize it till it's later and then it just becomes a standard, you know? It's like working. You can get it from football. You get it from football. I know you'll understand this just as much as I get from being an athlete. It's like what makes great athletes great and what makes good athletes good is the great athletes do the small things consistently where it becomes a habit. And then
Mm,
it's just a standard. Good athletes look at it and it's like, how do I get to that? And it's the same thing like you were saying over 6 months. That's now your guys' standards. Now you're good, you know? And it's like those great athletes look at themselves and they're like, okay, now I'm good, but what do I do to become great? It's like, how do you keep growing? What are the small little things that you can make consistently to reach that great? And then that becomes good because it's a new standard for you.
yeah.
That's the big thing. 6 months, dude. This is what I will say. I've changed my mindset. I'm a growth mindset now, dude. And that's
Ooh,
how I think is growth mindset, bro. And too many people are okay with just being complacent. Complacent mindset
mm,
is a big thing of the generation.
yeah.
Well, they got this because they're lucky. It's like when you're a nobody and you're bad at things, like no one notices you. When you're
That's
in the
facts.
middle and you're good at things, it's like they're like, okay, yeah, he's good. But when you're great, you get lucky.
Mm.
When you're a legend and you're awesome, you got lucky. And
Yeah.
it's like, where were you when I was down here, dude?
Mhm.
And it's like, it's all in a growth mindset because those people that sit at good are just complacent. And that's too much consistently, man.
Yeah,
Too
bro, that
much.
is so true. Like I've heard people say like why certain artists are like great at what they do. Oh man, this guy he sold his soul. This guy's an Illuminati. But it's like how come it just came like this guy really worked this hard at his craft and like became better
Yep.
over time. You know, like sometimes it's really just that simple.
It really is, dude. And too many people a lot nowadays don't want to do the work. They're looking for the handout, you know? And it's like that doesn't exist. You want to know why so many young kids and stuff are going to like play sports at higher levels and stuff like that, or musicians are getting picked up so young early because those kids ain't complacent and they're working at a younger age And it's like technology, it's just exponential now,
Yeah.
like, dude, even look at the talent through like basketball or football or even soccer. Like, you look back 30 years ago at the first few TV games that were being played, and like, I bet you can look at football and be like, I would have smoked those guys with the talent level I have now. And it's like, it's because the games change so much. Like, their pro level is stuff our kids do now sometimes, it's like just the exponential growth. And it's like that with technology, everything's just growing so fast. So it's like, if you want to be good at what you do, man, you got to have a growth mindset. You just got to look for new things, and find a way to.
How did you like develop that growth mindset,
man? It's hard. It's really hard. The first thing like you really got to do is I sat down and I talked to some of my closest friends, and I really looked at myself and I said, what are some of my flaws that I know I can't change? That's a part of me, that's like instilled in me. I'm loud. You know me personally. When like we're in person, I'm a loud person. I just talk at a higher level. That's how it is. There is no toning me down. Like, that's just how I am. So I was like, okay, yeah, I can be loud. So I've learned to my growth mindset, and how I change some of that is I listen a lot more. I sit and I listen to what people are saying. So it's like finding small individual things that you can't change. That's the first great step to a growth mindset, finding an alternative. Because then when you find problems within you that you can change, you're capable of it, because now you can already find another solution for things that you can't change. So if you're capable of finding solutions for things that you can't change, you're going to be able to find a comprehensible solution for something that can. I was, for those 3 months that I was just traveling and stuff and doing something, I was sleeping in for a while. I started this new job, and now it's like, today was my day off. My sleeping in was 9:30 because I'm so used to getting up at 6. And it's like, I'm okay with that. Like, but you gotta be ready to change. That's the big thing, is accepting the possibility of change, because you can't grow if you don't want to, and change is scary, man. It's hard for a lot of people because the unknown is like what holds people in. And I can't remember who quoted this, but I was listening to it, and it was like, the only time that you're going to grow or accept things is either when you're uncomfortable or you're doing something different, which is also going to make you uncomfortable. So it's like, even if you're upset and having a bad time and you're uncomfortable doing things, it's growth. And then when you're out searching for something and you're looking to change things, it's uncomfortable and it's growth. So it's like, people who are comfortable, you'll never have a growth mindset, And it's like, being comfortable in yourself, that's great. Cool. I'm happy for you. But it's like, everyone's got stuff they can change for sure.
That's
for
true.
sure. No one is perfect by any means, There are people that are perfect for you, I think. I think there's people that fit together. It's like a puzzle piece, dude. I just used this analogy last night talking to one of my friends. I was like, everyone's like a puzzle piece. They're distorted, they're messed up, but there's other people that are distorted and messed up that fit in you perfectly. Those are your friends. Those are your friends, your family, your relationships. Those are those people. You're not going to make a puzzle without other people around you. We're social animals. Like, that's how you grow. You take what other people close to you say because they're close to you. They know you. What's that saying? Your mouth's right under your nose. Your nose don't tell you when your breath smells. People outside of you do, dude. That's the only way to grow, is having other people around you and looking in. Like, that's how I started my growth mindset. You got to start looking in and then look for help from outside, from people who know you well.
Oh, I hear you on that, man. Because I know, like, for me personally, like, me to get to this point where I'm at now, bro, like, it all started with me wanting to, like, just be, like, better, and it's like with me wanting to be better, I didn't even know how to be better at the time. I just knew I
Where do
wanted
you
to.
start? Like, it's such a general term. I want to be better. It's like, what aspects,
Yeah, because like I noticed like certain things. I'm like, man, I have to I have to do certain things like better. Like I know there's another way to handle this situation. And I'm
Mm-hmm.
like, well, like dealing with anxiety and stuff like that. But I'm like, man, like there has to be another way to deal with this type of stuff, man.
Yeah.
Like it has to be because I've seen other people like make it through to the other side in a sense, you know, like they've learned
Mm-hmm.
how to deal with their triggers and this and that, or even recognizing what triggers them, you know. So like I started like watching different people talk about like how they deal with their anxiety and stuff. Like, I even started having conversations with different people from various backgrounds and realizing like some of the things I was thinking, or even like the environments I was in, like that's not like natural, you know. Not everybody goes through that, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's a good thing to notice too, is like everyone experiences something at one point in their life, you know, and those experiences from other people is what can help you. And that's where growth comes from, you know, because we are all so different. You know, I think it's funny. I see these posts on Instagram and stuff, and people are like, "Did we all have the same childhood?" And it's like the push pops or the Kool-Aid things. And it's like, no, that was just marketed to our generation. We didn't all have the same, you know.
Mhm.
So it's like it's good to appreciate other people's differences because it really can change you. Like you and I, you're more city, I'm from the suburbs, but we get along because we have a lot of similarities. And the fact that we both have been to Chicago, or you've been out to the suburbs, and like we met at a school because we're both there for sports.
Yeah,
Like those are three massive things that we had in common, and we just kind of vibed and linked. But it's like you have a much different upbringing than I did, you know, like you're part of a minority, I'm not, like, but we both were able to come together and really like share great experiences, you know, with massive differences. And I think that's a problem that a lot of people don't have, is they see different in other people or things that are like frightening in their lives, and they don't want to change or go experience it. And it's like that's why people don't change, you know. It's like you talking about your anxiety. It's like, yeah, you know, there's people that let their disorders and such define them,
yeah,
and are okay,
yeah.
and they go through the motions, they go get help or they go get the medications and stuff and they take it. But like, I know it's it's so easy for me to talk about this topic because it's like I'm speculating, you know, but it's like you got to also try and put some work in too outside of just what people are telling you, you know,
Yeah,
like,
yeah, that's the hard part right there.
yeah. And I think that's like, it's easier said than done.
Mhm.
So it's like, I will never like be able to personally say like, yeah, that it's easy to get through, because it's not.
Mhm.
It's a disorder for a reason. It's because it's difficult. No one gets through that stuff in a day or a week or anything. It's like in my opinion, everyone's battled depression, whether or not you know it at some point in your life. And I know for
Mm,
a fact that did not take a day for me to get over. It didn't take a week for me to get over. That's not how it is. But you got to seek a way out if you're gonna do it,
yeah.
but you got to put the work to get out. You don't just see a door. Doors don't open without you either pulling, pushing, or doing something to it.
Oh,
It's just
yeah,
how it is, you know? They
yeah.
don't. They don't. Even a revolving door, you got to push, man.
Mhm.
So you got to walk up to an electric door for it to open. Like, you got to do something in order for something to happen.
Yeah, man, that's so true, bro. Like, bro, like if I would just been like, okay, like I've did nothing about it, like, I'd probably still be in that dark place I was once in. But it's like now, like I'm in a better place. I'm in a better space right now, you know. So it's like you gotta put the work in. And
Mm-hmm.
it's like something I always say, bro. It may not be easy, but it is necessary. You
Yep.
know.
It's so true, dude. It's so true. It's the monotonous little things too, you know? It's always the small things. You're like, yeah, it's annoying, but you gotta do it, man.
Yeah.
You gotta do it. It's like for my moving job, it's like the easy saying, don't bend with your back, lift with your knees.
Yeah.
And it's like I see new guys come in and they're bending with their back. I'm like, yo, you're gonna regret this. You gotta lift with your knees, dog. You gotta bend your knees. And I know it's tedious and it's easy to just, but like, dude, long run, you gotta do the small things.
Yeah.
You really do. And that's what grows people, man.
Yeah, man, that's so true, man. Like, bro, like, how does it feel to like you're working on your masters now, man? How does that feel?
Dude, it's weird. It's so weird.
Mhm.
It's a lot, like, because I'm online for all of it, so I'm used to it from Upper Iowa. But I'm like looking at these people's backgrounds because we did the introduce me things, and I was like, oh, I'll take a look, see who's in my class. And it's
Yeah.
like all these people, probably mid 20s to early 30s and such. A couple people around my age, but they're like, yeah, I have 5 years in the force experience and all this stuff, and I'm just like, dude, I got no experience in that. I was on one quick case for like an internship, and I'm just like, damn, this is this is going to be interesting. And it's like, I can see though where their personal experiences when I read discussion questions and stuff comes in play, but then I can see where I respond to people, and I'm coming from the book side of things and what I've learned through my classes and stuff, that I'm just kind of like, okay, I can see where if we were put together as one person, we would be beyond excellent in this. So I'm trying to take from people's experiences that I know in the class have that real life experience, and I try to respond to their post more than the people who would just have book experience like me.
Mm.
Or so I'm trying to reach out to people that I'm like, okay, if I respond to this with like my book side of things, maybe they'll reply to it. And I've had people reply to it where they're just like, well, that's not how this works based on this. And I'm like, okay, if that's how they're doing that, like this is how I would. So I go back and forth with people in my discussion questions just based on experience. Like they've got the time in the real world working a big kid job. And I'm over here coming with some book smarts, from stuff that they had to go through
Mhm.
to change. So, but it's a lot of work. I recommend it to people that want to do something like and achieve a higher level education. Go for it, because I have already. I'm on my second week and I've learned a lot, like a ton. And it's not just from reading the book; it's from the
Yeah.
people in the class. Like
Okay.
that's one of the big things is the peers. I wish I knew that sooner when I was in college. Like,
Okay.
I feel like I could have learned a lot more from what my peers and stuff were saying than just from doing the classwork. So I kind of wish I took that in to college with me going in my freshman year. And I would recommend that to anybody that goes into just basic college anywhere. Try and see where your peers are coming from, because how they see something, even though the book may tell them they're wrong, they could sure be right. Like definitely, because not every situation is great. The book may tell them they're wrong, but like in their situation from where they're from or whatever, it could be the perfect fix.
True.
That's
True,
one of the
man.
things. But yeah, it's crazy. It's cool going for a master's because I'm surrounded by people who are interested in the same thing that I am, that all have different education styles. So
Okay.
yeah, it's a lot.
Bro, hearing you describe it, man, it reminds me of some my mother's boyfriend. He always like told me like like our freshman year or like my freshman year. It
Mhm.
was like just take the best of people with you. You may not agree with them on everything. You guys may come from different backgrounds and stuff like that, but just take the best of what they had to offer,
Yeah,
and then use that in whatever way you can. And
yeah,
like,
I
man,
totally agree.
that's
I totally agree. I think that a lot of what we do is we try and minimize people or deteriorate other people because we think they're better than us. I think
mm-hmm.
that's a big thing with how we opinionate other people. You know, uh, no one wants to be the worst at anything.
Yeah.
That's why we get embarrassed, and that's why we get competitive, and that's why we get upset. The people who I think, at least in society, are at the top understand that they're not the best at anything, everything, and that they have good skills. Yeah, you've heard the saying like a master of all, a jack of all trades,
Yeah.
you know. The full saying of that is a jack of all trades isn't a master of one, but isn't as good as a master. It's better than a master of one. Being a jack of all trades is better than being a master of just one. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like I've looked at it and I'm like, how many different things can I take away from other people to learn to make me better? Because
Okay.
I don't want to be a master at just one thing. Because if you're good at just one thing, that's all you got. If you're
Yeah.
if you're good or great at 5 things, you will beat that person out that's a master at 1 for
Yeah.
sure. Like a good worker, but someone that imagine someone that's like, well, do it for football. Someone who's a great wide receiver. But what if someone is good at just running faster, just being bigger, and just being good like with a football IQ? It's like they
Yeah.
will beat that great receiver out a
Yeah.
good
They can do
7 out of 10.
Yeah.
And it's just out of knowing multiple things. And I think that's what your mom's boyfriend is trying to say. Take the best from people because then it makes you better, makes you a lot better. I had someone tell me the other day, they were like, "You're really interesting." And I was like, "Why do you say that?" And they're like, "Well, you play music, you write poetry, you played soccer." And I was like, that I'm sure I told them, I was like, you are just as interesting. You just
Mm.
don't realize it because like you did it. Like it was that
Right. Yeah.
dude, that was a wake up call for me when they said that to me. It was like, that's just stuff I did because I was interested and excited to do and fun. It's like, you're interesting, Brandon. You do 2 different podcasts. You played football. You have a college education. Like, you've done a ton already.
Yeah.
You're from the city. You jump rope. You read inspiring quotes. Like, you do a lot, man. And those are all things that like you're great at. So it's like people don't realize it because we don't always have someone telling us about it.
Yeah. Bro, that's
It's
so
crazy.
true. Like people like so many times like they be like, oh, this person is sleeping on me and this and that. But it's like, no, it's not that they're sleeping on you. You're sleeping on yourself.
Yep. For
You
real,
gotta
bro.
recognize like your own greatness or even your own potential, the things you could possibly do.
Yeah. Yeah. I think you know who Gary Vee is, right?
Yup. Yeah.
I think one of my favorite things he said is he's like, the big thing everyone is scared of is their mother. And I
Mm.
was like, yeah, it's like you have to be okay with telling them no, your mom no, and your worst enemy no, when you want to try something new or something that you may want to try and be very passionate about. Because at the end of the day, it's not them doing it anyway. That's like with me in poetry. I remember writing, my mom being like, "You write a lot of really sad stuff." And I was like, I'm trying to be empathetical and really relate to other people. That's what I like doing. That's like me. So that's why I write. And I just went with it. Now my mom reads my stuff and she's like, "You're really good at this." And I was like, "You told me." And so that's some good advice for people. Like, do it if it interests you, even if you end up sucking at it. I have fun fishing and I'm terrible at it.
Bro, like sometimes like the something like you're the worst at is like oftentimes the things you have the most fun doing.
Exactly,
Bro.
man. Literally.
Mhm.
Dude, I didn't even think about that. That's so true.
Mhm.
There's a lot of things that I suck at that I have fun doing.
Bro, I'm just talking from personal experience, bro. I played like top golf. I loved it. I was terrible, but I loved it though. Like it was
It
a
is
great time, bro. It felt great outside. The sun is out. You got the music. You get some food too coming and going.
the company,
It's
bro.
like it's just a great time, man.
Literally. It's funny you bring that up because I like golfing too, but I'm terrible at it. And my homie John across the street, he loves golfing because he's pretty good at it and it's a good hobby. And I go with him and we play best ball because I know his ball's always gonna go further. But it's like I like being out there with the company and I suck at golf. But it's like it's the people you do it with, and I just have fun just trying to do something new, man.
That's so true, man. It got me thinking about like sometimes like for some people to think that they're the best at like they're just great at it, they really don't like it that much. Like how
Mm,
often have you heard like some guys like you probably play different sports, but you like, oh my god, like he is so good and this and that. But he says like I'm not really into it like that. I
yeah,
just do it
dude.
because
Mm-hmm. I get it. Like I was just listening to Mike Tyson's talking on a podcast the other day, and he was like, I cried before every fight. And they asked him, he was like, why? And he was like, I didn't want to do it. Like And you know, he looks back and he was like, yeah, I was brainwashed. You know, he was brainwashed to fight. Like, he didn't have a father, and his trainer used a lot of psychology on him to get him to fight a lot. And he was like, yeah, I cried before every single fight. And I was like, dude, he is one of the greats, like the greats at that, you know. And he was miserable doing it. I think people don't realize that. Like, there are some people who are, oh, dude, Robin Williams, one
Yeah.
of the greatest actors
Oh
of all
my
time,
God, I love him, bro. Good
bro.
Will is like my favorite
And
movie.
he was depressed. Like, I don't think he didn't love acting, but I think he was just like miserable having to do things day in, day out. And it's like, people don't realize, like, do stuff that are happy, because even though he was doing something he loved, like, I'm sure it was some people around him and doing stuff for it. Like, you know, there are people who are great at things that just are miserable and don't want to do it anymore, you know? So it's like, try things, do things you suck at, you know, be you, like, really be true to you. Like, that's the best advice there is out there. Be yourself, be happy with it, you know.
Yeah, bro. I even heard like it was like a while back, maybe a few. It's like a few years back actually. I heard like Kevin Gates like say this in a song. He said, "There's no wrong way to be you."
For real,
See,
bro.
that is so true.
There's no outline to how to be a person.
Mm-hmm.
There's no book, there's no nothing, you know.
Mm-hmm.
What do you have? What's, you know, like, even ask your parents, be like, what was it like being a parent? You know, they can read all the books in the world, but
Yeah.
that's not how it works. Every kid's different. Every kid has different experiences. Like, how their parents treated them growing up impacts how they're going to treat you growing up. Like, there's no outline to being a mom or dad. There's no outline to being an individual human.
That's facts, man. Like,
Just how it is, you
bro, I
know.
was watching. I really forgot what movie. Matter of fact, it was an interview. It was I can't think of her name right now, but she's like from Canada. She's like a singer. She was, matter of fact, she was on one of Gary V's, like one of his, I forgot what show, but like he was like interviewing, like, just having a conversation with like a restaurant, and like she said, like, oh, like, man, like this life thing, like we're all just, man, it's a huge guessing game, you know, and nobody
Yeah,
has the exact answer to like how to deal with every situation. Like we're kind of just guessing our way through life, you know.
we're here. Yeah, we are literally just here, man. There's no, what's the end goal? You know, what's the end goal? It's what makes it's you. I think Alan Watts, he's a philosopher. He's
Yeah.
passed away
I've
already.
seen some of his quotes. Yeah.
The best thing that I've ever taken away from this man, because I listen to his stuff, because I go, and none of his stuff is like podcasts or anything like that. It's him talking to his college lectures.
Yeah.
Like, it's all of his college lectures, and he looks at his class and he goes, if I have anything to tell you about the meaning of life, being an amazing professor, he's like hyping himself up. He's like, 40 years I've taught philosophy or whatever. I'm this big, like, when people think philosophy, they look at me. I'm the man of philosophy. He goes, here's my opinion to tell you on life and what the meaning of life is. And he looks at everyone, he goes, the meaning of life is just to live. And I
Mm,
was like, shit.
yeah.
He was like,
Yeah.
you give it a purpose and a meaning. The real meaning, the deep down inside why you're here, is just to be here. You define why you want to be here. I was like, bro, my heart. I was like,
Yeah.
holy cow. I was like, he's like answered an age-old question, and people, you know, they're gonna look at me now that I've said it and just be like, that's crazy. Yeah, there's a meaning in
Yeah.
life. You have a higher purpose,
That's simple.
but it's like, boil it down. Boil it down. Like, seriously, boil that in water. Like, think about it. It literally is just to breathe and to be here, you know. But you have to assign a reason why you're here.
Yeah.
Like, and that's hard. That is hard. That's a human condition, you know. I love talking about the human condition. It's like, that's part of it, is figuring out who we are and what we want to be and what we want to do. And there's no map road for it.
Mhm.
There's no reason in my head or somewhere along the way where I was like, I want to work on looking at dead people and helping solve crime. Like, where along the way was I like, it's what interested me.
Yeah.
So It's how it is, you know. What made you want to do football? Why do you love talking about life? Why do you love doing podcasts? It's like you enjoy it. But
Man,
why? Why? You just boil it down and it's like, because that's what I want to do. That's what my heart's telling me. That's what my brain tells me. So I'm going to do it. It's that simple with the purpose of life. You're here to live.
that's real, man. And it's like something else. I think it's like I feel like people like take for granted or don't even like realize like, man, the great thing about being human is like the answer to like all these life questions and stuff, like it's always able to change.
Yep.
You know, and it's not just like one exact way of things how
No.
things have to be. You know,
Mm-mm.
it's always changing. Like especially as you like evolve and grow as a person. You know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, that's true. That's the big reality of it, is that it's always changing. Because even on days you don't want to get up and like things are changing, that sun's gonna be up whether or not you like it. So it's like, that's always changing. That's just how it is, you know. We struggle with change, but that's the one thing we can't change. So you might
That's
as
the
well
one
go.
constant,
You
man.
gotta go with it, dude. You gotta roll with the fact that there are things you cannot change, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You know.
That's something like I've really been embracing like over the year and a half, like just like embracing like, okay, I cannot control everything. You know, I cannot control every outcome. Things won't go exactly how I plan them and this and that, but it's okay. And then I can like I'm smart enough, you know, and curious enough to just adjust on the fly as things go.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and like I'm willing to adapt, you know, and it's like
Yeah.
oftentimes people find themselves in the most trouble, you know, or like the most hardship they go through is like they're not willing to embrace the change, you know.
Yeah. That's that's one for the books, dude. Is like, accept your challenges and go with it, because that's what makes you different, and that's what makes you great, is what you overcome. It's easy to say that, but like when you get through those things, it's way better. And it's like, it makes you strong and it makes you you. You know, every challenge. I mean, look, some people like growing up as kids, some people take way longer to learn how to write and read, and some people just get it. But then those people that just don't get it, that just get it, don't understand math as well at times. It's like, that's builds humans. That's what it is everybody's challenges. That's what you get when you get a person. You meet a new person, that's them. They were challenges, you know, that builds up people, you know. And but the other hand of that is what they were given, you know, that's also part of it. That's what makes humans, is what they go through, what they're given, and what they're willing to work towards. Those are the three things that I think make a person, you know. That's it. That's like individuals. You can't change that. You know, their will to want to do things, who they are, and what they're given, you know.
Yeah, man, that's so true, bro. And like that really just got me thinking, like, wow, you know, it's like, like this life thing is like it's so like it's gonna be crazy. I say like it's so simple, but like we tend to complicate
We complicate it, dude. We so complicate it, you know?
it. Like, bro, like,
Can you imagine what
no,
would
no,
what would the world be like, bro? What would the world be like if everyone just spoke their mind, spoke the truth, and was just like, this is what I'm gonna do, and just went and did it?
yeah, yeah.
Bro, it wouldn't be complicated. Everyone would be like, okay, that's what. And then, but the problem with that is people don't accept it. If everyone just accepted for what everybody said, that would be it. That would be it. The world's uncomplicated. We just solved the problem. We figured it out, Brandon. Thank you, everybody. Good night. We've solved the world. Like, that's just it. People don't accept things, but like that. Going back to it, that's the human condition, bro. We don't have to like what other people do. We can like what other people do. Like, that's it, man. And that's why the world's complicated.
Bro, like think about the example, right? When you're a young boy, like in middle school, you're starting to get into girls, like, oh my gosh, like I think I'm gonna write. I don't even know if kids even do that. I'm gonna write her a letter, say like on a piece of paper, like, does she want to date? Yes or no?
Yeah.
And it's like, come
Yeah.
on, it's really just as simple as that, yes or no. But like we complicate. Oh my gosh, what if she just says this? Oh, what if this happened?
What if,
Like,
right?
we kill ourselves for what else, man? Like just do, man. And it's like, in all honesty, like you guys are kids anyway. Things won't last forever, and it's okay. It's
Yeah.
okay.
I'll give an example. This is a life example. I'm not going to use any names, and I'm going to change it up a bit. But the other day, I was out doing something, and I was at like a restaurant or something, and I thought the waitress was cute, and I come in every now and then, and I see it. So I was like, I literally thought about it. I was like, even if I go up there and ask her out, and she says no, I'm still going to come back here and order food. So I just went and did it. Like, what happens? There's 20 other people here that can take my order or make my food. It's not going to be the end of the world if she says no.
That's
And
right.
like going into it, I remember just being like, what happens if she does say no? And then I was like, what am I thinking?
Yeah.
Who cares?
Oh,
Who cares, bro?
yeah.
We care way too there are people who care way too much and think too little. And that's what it is. Think
Yeah.
a little less, care a little less, don't think as much, and just go. I was reading a science what was it? An article the other day, and it was like, if you're gonna do something, it literally takes 3 seconds in your mind to decide whether or not you're gonna do it. So if you're gonna do something, the second it pops in, just say yes to yourself. If it's an impulse, just say yes, because you'll go do it then, you know? And that's what I've tried doing for myself now. Going back to change and stuff. Like that's what I tell myself is like, if there's something new that I'm like a little interested in, I just say yes and I go do it. Because if I start in the motion, like, yeah, I'm gonna get nervous and I'm gonna be a little scared of it and stuff, but like I'm gonna go for it. I'm gonna do it. I've already made it up in my mind. If I sit there and I think about it, the percentage that your mind tells you that not to do it just goes up. So it's like for anybody out there that listens and thinks like, oh, maybe I should ask her out, just tell yourself, yeah, just go for it. Or maybe I should go rock climbing or I should go like cliff jumping or something. Just say yes and go try it. Go do it, because the worst that could happen, the very worst is that you don't like it, they say no, or you just like miss out on an experience.
That's so real, bro. And it's like,
Run for it.
yeah, man. And it's like so many times, bro. People are living their lives like with what ifs instead of like what is.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then what ifs are like really like killing like their living experience. If they just enjoyed what is, then they enjoy like life so much more.
So many people ask why instead of why not.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the same thing you're saying, man. It's just phrased differently, and that's what's funny is like just the meaning, though. Like it's like people, like you were saying, people look at things and it's like, oh, it is what it is, and then people will ask why, but why not? Or okay, but is it really that? Like, why can't we go try it? Man. It's funny. I think it's funny that we boil down super complex things and we're like, it's like 4 words. We figured it out. Me and Brandon figured it out. 4 words. It is, and why and why not?
Bro, oh my gosh, bro. And it's like something else I was thinking, man. It's like how you were saying, like how sometimes people may have like trouble, like they may not know like how to write and this and that. But those people oftentimes when they don't know, they end up creating something new and something great. Just out of
That's
the fact that they didn't
exactly it.
understand like the fundamentals. Like takes for instance like Jimi Hendrix, the great artists like that, the great musicians like that, like the art they created came from they didn't know how to do the normal this and that, wherever it was. They just did what they did and they enjoyed it. Like they end up creating something new that everybody else wants to be a part of. Like Kanye West, for example, like he said some stuff sometimes, but it's like the albums he's put out in the past, like they often led to like a new sound afterwards,
Innovation, dude. It's innovation. I mean, look at all of science, bro. Like going all the way back, that apple hit Newton and he was like, physics. It's like, what? You got hit in the head? What if you got hit in the head by like an orange? Would physics still be a thing? Just went for it. It was like, yeah, this is a thing. That's called gravity. And everyone was like, crazy.
Oh man. So what else is like new in your world, man? What else is going on, man?
Oh, dude, I've set up a I don't know if you've ever read it. I think I have it right here. Have you ever read The Laws of Human Nature? This book, like the 48 Laws of Power.
Yeah.
Bro, it's innovated the way that I look and how I speak to people, especially in new experiences, because the book itself literally it talks about like how to understand and read other people. And it's really my thing has always been that I will put myself out first to make other people comfortable, like give my opinions and stuff. And I realized that like I don't always have to do that. So like now that I have read this and I've evaluated things, like I will go into a room and I will assess people's body language, and the people that don't want to be there, that's who I approach first.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, that's my goal, is like I'll bring them out of their shell. If I see someone sitting at the bar like alone or something, like even if the waiter or waitress looks like upset, I will go sit in their section just to talk to them and see what's going on and like learn about people. So it's like, and the other big thing is I've learned to not give my opinion first all the time. I like to hear what other people say and then evaluate whether or not I'm going to have conflict with my opinion and if the conflict's worth it.
Oh, that's a great.
Because if it's not even worth it and it's a topic that I know I don't disagree, I'm going to just lie. And I know that's not great advice, but it's like, where is the point in me trying to argue something when they are already established on that's what they want?
Yeah.
There's
true.
no point in it. So I'm just like, yeah, I can understand your perspective. I get what you're saying. Yeah, I agree with you, you know? And deep down, I'm just kind of like, it's just not worth going back and forth on.
It's not worth like the energy, you know.
No.
I'm not about to waste my time trying to convince you something you're not gonna believe, no matter what.
Literally. So it's like that's what I kind of stick with, you know. It's just how I've changed my patterns on who I speak with and who I want to speak to. I've cut out a lot of the people and stuff in my life that I'm just kind of like, I was more your friend than you were mine, you know, because I don't need that. There's a lot of people that need to hear that you don't have to keep friends around even if you've known them for years. It's people grow apart and change, and that's what it is. But you'll meet other people if they're worth it. That's how it is. Yeah.
Well, like hearing you say that, bro, I'm thinking about this. It's this other podcast I was watching probably like last summer, the Joe Budden podcast, whatever. And like one of like the former co-hosts or whatever, and he was talking about how like sometimes like certain friendships like they just outgrow their roots, you know. Like sometimes like just growing up in the area, in the same area as somebody, that isn't enough to keep you guys bonded together because you guys have outgrown that. You know, you two have become like different people and different individuals.
Yeah. And I think too many people hold on to that childhood friendship that isn't always there. You know, or college friendships. Like, great example is you and me, dude. We still stay in touch from college, and we're totally different. But we enjoy each other's company and conversation. And I like this friendship. There's other people who I grew up with and stuff that I had conversation and talked to for a long time, and I, was always indifferent. That like literally in like the past month, I just shot him a text. I was like, "Hey, I appreciate all the years hanging out and stuff, but like, we're not the same friends anymore, and I really don't even know if we can consider ourselves friends. So I think it's best if we part, and that's how it is."
Wow.
I don't want you texting me when all of a sudden you find out something horrible, like you cared all along, because that's not the case. People just don't. If you cared the whole time, like, trust me, you would have been one of the first few people I told, and that's what I did. I evaluated who would I tell what, and are they worth it?
Bro, it is so crazy. Like, it's so funny to hear you say this, bro. Because literally, like the other day, man, like me and Justin, we had this UFC fighter, man, and it was like such a huge deal to like me and Justin, bro. I'm like, man, like who do I want to tell, right? And I started thinking about like then like I told him like a few people. Then I was like these other people I told like it is like wasn't no response and this and that. So it's like my accomplished when I feel like I've accomplished something, I feel like this is so dope for all of
Find people that celebrate
you know.
your
And it's like all
success,
right,
dude.
it's
That's
I
friendship.
see what it is, you know. So it's like after that, I was like, man, like I had to I kicked myself out of the group chat, bro. I had to, bro, because like the things that I thought was there, like just
They
wasn't.
ain't, man. And
You know?
that hurts. You know why? And you don't find it until like you don't find the snakes till you cut the grass, bro. You really don't. And that's the sad thing. But it's like you gonna let the grass grow back and the snakes still hang, or are you gonna go find a new yard?
That's so real, man. It's like, man, like making that assessment and stuff, like it's hard to do, man. But like I said earlier, it isn't easy, but it's necessary. You know?
I'll ask you, do you feel better? Feels a lot better not knowing you don't gotta carry the weight of somebody else, dude.
Yeah. Cause like at times you feel like, oh man, it's so one sided. And it's like, sheesh, like, why am I even trying in a way? Like, why am I
Mm-hmm.
forcing this? Like time and everything is showing like this is just like not something worth holding on to.
Yeah, and you know, it's like it's like love in a relationship. It's meant to be. They'll come back if they really care about you, want to be friends. They're gonna reevaluate it and try and reach out and then make the effort. If they don't make the effort, then you did the right thing, and what do you lose? Nothing. If anything, you gain the time that you would have had for stressing or worrying about it.
Yeah, bro, that's so real, bro. Cause I feel like even think back on like my last relationship I was in, you know, like by the time like things with me and her ended, I was just like, finally, you know. But it
Yeah,
was like then
yeah,
like neither one of us had like the guts to just like
dude, I get
we're
that.
not what we think we are. Not
Yep.
in love and this and that. And it's like the best things we had to offer each other, like we can no longer like coexist with each other and make each other better, you know?
And one of the things though that you got to do is you got to be appreciative
Yeah,
of the good things that you learn from. That's one of the things that I hate listening to about people and how they shit on their spouse
yeah,
after you break
wow.
up. And at one point I was like, at one point in time they were your world.
That's facts.
You love this man or woman, and there were nights you couldn't stop talking to them. There were days that all you did was talk about them, not to them. And then you brought them to parties, you brought them to family. It's like, I get you guys split and you went separate ways, whether it be because of a horrible reason or just a mutual breakup or just you didn't want to do it anymore. Appreciate the things you learned from them
Yeah,
because they impacted you in a way. And as much as you don't always want it, they have a part of your heart or they have a place in your heart, whether that ever comes back up or doesn't. It's like that's just the matter of it. That's a relationship, whether it be down to even just being a friend. Like, take the good things about it, acknowledge the bad things, and look for those things, you know, so you don't let it happen again. But don't tear the other person down because you no longer see eye to eye. That's not, it's the oldest saying in the book, an eye for an eye makes the whole world blind. Why are you gonna, you know, just tear somebody down who you used to work so hard to build up?
yeah, yeah.
Like, that's
Right.
pointless. So pointless, man.
That's so real, bro. Like even
And
like
what is you tearing them down even gonna do at that point? They went their
yeah,
separate way. We went our separate ways. What is me talking bad about you gonna do? You're just painting a picture for other people, and if they ever see them, that's it. Nice. They got an image of someone else. Who cares? Who cares, man? Let it go. And move on and be appreciative of what you had, you know? Because at some point when you had that, other people were wishing they had it too. There were people that were
yeah,
jealous. Like, you were lucky and you were both blessed to have each other at that point. That's how it is, you know? And if you're so negative about it at the end, why'd you even get into it in the first place?
exactly.
Why? What's the point?
Exactly, man.
Prove a point to people? Like, nah. No one cares if your girlfriend or boyfriend's 9 out of 10 or 10. No one cares about that. If you're miserable and you're doing it to prove a point to everyone, that's fine. Go on social media and do about it. I'm gonna be happy going and being with someone that I can talk to and spend 7 hours a day talking to and enjoy their company. I'll take that spouse over the hot chick all day. For real.
Yeah.
For real, dude. I'll die on that hill.
Bro,
That is a hill I will die on
yeah,
all day, you know.
that is so real, man. I've met some very beautiful young women, but it's like oftentimes like all they have really is just their looks, you know. But it's like, man, like when you meet somebody that you can like really have a conversation with, even if you guys don't start dating, you guys are just friends. That's
Having that.
more than enough, just to have
Mhm.
somebody you can have those great conversations with.
Bro, yeah. I've that's what I've really taken account for in the last few months is like who I sit down with and talk to. And I'm just like, wow, I have some very intellectual friends that I don't see eye to eye to, but we have excellent conversations and I will sit in the car with them and we will drive and talk for hours. And those relationships are what I will take to my grave and be happy with. People that are distant and that just kind of check in on my life every now and then, like I don't want it. I don't. I want someone to ask me intellectual questions that I can talk about that I'm passionate about.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to talk to somebody about what they're passionate about, because if you ask me something that I'm passionate about and I talk about it for a good hour and you take something away from that, and then you talk for an hour about something you're passionate about and I take something away from it, dude, those are the healthiest and best relationships because you just build. It's just up. Even if you don't agree, you're taking something away from it,
Sure.
That's nice. Those are nice relationships.
Like I remember, like me and Justin was like talking like a few weeks ago, whatever. Like our birthdays like got like 3 days apart or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Like he was like telling me like, man, like have these people telling me happy birthday. Like I wish they never reached out to me because like he said like, he can like tell like he knows like it isn't like real. Like how come like he just
Mm-hmm.
don't check up on me on a regular like Wednesday, a random Tuesday, you know?
Yeah.
And just hitting you a happy birthday, or like people like, oh Justin, you're all American, congratulations! I knew all this time you can do it, and it's like, wait, what? Like we
Yeah.
never had any type of conversations or things I'm doing to work towards that, and this
Or
and
what
that.
I'm struggling with. Like
Yeah,
what's holding me back right now? How do I figure it out? Yeah, man. I get that. That's hard, But I like the people just out of nowhere that'll text me like, hey, I'm checking in. How are you?
that's fine.
Those are people that care. And life gets busy. That's the big thing, that like life gets busy. Like
Yeah,
in the last 3 weeks, I've been super busy and haven't reached out to a few people that I should have. And I texted them yesterday night because it was I just had a little bit of free time. I was like, hey, I just want to see how you're doing. I want to let you know, like, I've been busy. I'm sorry, but I want you to know I still care and I'm here for you, So,
man, that's so real. Cause like, yes, people like have things to do. Everybody has their own life to live. So you're not really like expecting somebody to talk to you 24/7, this and that. It's like more of like when we can, we speak, and it's like the times we do,
yeah.
we have quality conversations about whatever. It
Hmm.
doesn't have to be like super serious, but it's still like great quality conversations.
Value the time other people give to you, man.
Yeah,
You gotta.
that's so real, bro. Like I'm just like that's something like I've also like been like telling people like whenever like somebody does give me the time to have a conversation with them, like I tell them like thank you because like I know like they could be doing something else right now, but
Hmm.
they decided and it was like, yeah, let's have this conversation, and it's like, man, like that stuff like goes a long way. Especially when
Yeah.
people do like the little things, because those are things that have like the deepest impact on me. Is when somebody does like the little things. Oh, what's up, bro? How you doing? What you been up to? Like those like simple little questions right there, like that means so much to me, because like you never know the battles that somebody is facing.
Bro, the biggest common courtesy that I appreciate from people, how was your day?
Man.
because if I have a crappy day and someone asks me that, I just vent because it makes me feel better. And the fact that you asked, like, I'm glad somebody cares or at least just wants to know what's up, you know? Dude, I think that's the big difference between like people being miserable and people being happy. It's literally as simple, and you can't tell me you don't have the time for it. Like, if you're good friends with them, you know, and you know they've been having a rough week or they haven't reached out, like obviously relationships are two ways, and how we were just talking about, I didn't have the time to reach out. It doesn't mean the other person doesn't, you know. So it's like them reaching out to me and giving me their time, asking how I'm doing. It's like that's the biggest compliment you can get out of a relationship or a friendship, because it's like, okay, they're accepting the fact that I haven't had the time. They're taking their time to ask about me. That's how you know someone cares. And you know when it's genuine and you know when it's not.
Yeah.
That's a big deal. That's a real big deal.
Yeah, and it's like, bro, like you can like feel it, you know. And it's like they can like say the same thing somebody else would say, but it's like you can like just feel like the difference, like with the energy and like the vibe, you know. It's like it doesn't like it's not the same no more, you know.
Mm-hmm. I feel that, dude. I really do. It's the weight.
And it's like when things aren't the same, you know, and it's like it's okay, you know. You don't have to go chasing after a certain moment, you know. Let's just let it go. You know, like we had this great time, these great memories, and that's cool, you know. But like all the time, you just gotta go on to like the next thing, you know.
Dude, biggest takeaway is just let shit go. For real. Especially if it's not worth holding on to.
Yeah. Man, bro, that's so real, man. That is so real. Bro, like that's bro, you just hit me right in the bro. It was another one of them, like, wow, bro. And that's something I really enjoy about the conversations like me and you have, like some way they always end up hitting. Like they always eat, you know?
Dude, totally. I think that's where our views are different. Like we have a lot of similarities, but we have very different perspectives on how we approach things at times, you know? Like there are a lot of times you say things and I'm like, shit, yeah. Didn't think about it like that, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's nice.
And it's like, bro, like even like seeing like the certain like poems you write, bro, like I remember like one of the first when you first started posting on your story, like I'm like, man, that's a man, like, bro. Like he must be going through it. I know that he's going through it. And then we reach out to him, and he was like, "Nah, bro. Like it's just like something I just observe people, and like I just write. Like it's not necessarily like what I'm going through personally. I'm just like, wait, what? Mom, I say he's not writing from personal experience. It's like at the time, like I like write my little poems, you know, and I seen like some of the stuff like I was like writing. And you're like, yeah, that's cool, brother. You could probably do better. I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, he's right. Then I'm like, bro, like, how does he get better? Like, without writing from like a person? I'm like, it just blew my mind. But I'm like, how is he able to do this?
Dude, honestly, I wish I had an answer. It's just, I don't know, man. I really, I don't know. I don't know how I do it. I think it just kind of comes from like watching, looking, thinking. How does putting my feet in someone else's shoes, I think, is one of my best qualities when it comes to writing. That's how I do it. What is this person going through? How can I portray it so that they feel like someone understands it? That's it for me. That's what I do. That's what I like to do.
Bro, like when I get to reading your poems, bro, it's always something that just hits me. I'm just like, oh my god! Say, hold on, wait, what? I be having to reread it. Like sometimes I even like swipe up, like, bro, you just did something, bro. Like that just hit for real, man.
Thanks, dude. I appreciate that. I like in that. I get it from a couple of people that now, you know, and it's always different. I'll get messages from people I don't hear from like in years and stuff, and they're like, "How'd you know I went through something like this?" I'm like, "You think I knew?" I'm glad. Like I wrote this so that it would reach out to somebody. I just didn't know it'd be someone like you. You know, I'm glad that it's connected with you and it brings like peace of mind, or at least makes you feel like someone's understanding. Yeah. Like that to me is why I write. It's beautiful to hear from those people that I don't hear from years down the line. How'd you know? Or thank you, or stuff like that. And I'm always like, nah, thank you for like reaching out to me and letting me know that I'm achieving what I'm trying to do. Like that means something.
Yeah, and it's like when people like seeing those messages and stuff, it's like letting you know like the stuff you're doing is actually like connecting. You know, you're not just swinging at a ball like just missing
for
it,
real, dude.
striking out. Like you're actually connecting, and it's hitting people in different ways from different backgrounds and stuff. You know.
Yeah, exactly, dude. I listen to your podcast and stuff, and there's a lot of things that you say, and I'm just like, I want to tell Brandon that stuff really hits, but I'm like, he knows. That's what he's doing. This is what he's doing. There's a reason he can do one every single week or every other week. Like, he knows what he's out there doing. He knows he's impacting lives. Like, we kind of come from the same tree, dude. Like, that's what we do. We do this, and I write, like, we do these things because it's out there for other people. It's for people to take in and relate to.
Yeah, that's facts, man. It's like oftentimes like you know with the podcast and stuff, right? I say these quotes and these different things, you know. Most of it just comes from me like living and then just observing. You know. That's all I really do. I'm just living and observing. You know. And it's like the most like the things that get like the most retweets or the most views and this and that from like clips and stuff. It's like it just be things I just say off the fact like I just observed it. You know, it wasn't even something like me just thinking like, oh, what quote should I say now?
Right.
You know,
exactly.
it just flows.
Exactly. I feel that, man. I really do.
Yeah, man. Really, are you working on any like new material, man? You working on a new book, man?
I am. I have one pretty close to being done. I just finished up an entire notebook, like 250 pages worth. So I'm transcripting it onto my computer now and going through it. So yeah, I'm gonna try and get something out here in like next year or so. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on that. But I got a lot of good stuff, and it's a lot different. You know, there's some happy stuff in there. There's some really like eye-opening just there, and of course I'm stuck home to the roots. Got some sad stuff in there relating to life, but I tackled a lot of different things. And I read some of my new stuff and I'm like, man, I'm really proud of this. I am I sent you one of the ones that I'm super proud of the other day, and I was just like, yeah,
bro. I must,
dude. I'll read it for everyone's, because I don't know. I just remember sitting down and writing this and being like, I'm a really flaw this one out. And I've spent a couple weeks on writing this one, but it was love which my heart cannot hold that made me feel the best. It was an overwhelming pressure exploding from my chest. A volcano. I tasted the ash inside my mouth. Bitter taste. You stained me. Love my heart couldn't contain, just an overwhelming pain. It was corrupted, meant for anyone who was you. But at the end of the day, I wanted to fall in love with someone who looked like you, someone who talked like you, thought like you, acted like you, did everything just like you, but someone who wasn't you. The love spilling out of me was not reciprocated from the heart which you had, which you covered so tight, packed and wrapped, no one would win that fight. Like an empty can you crushed, thrown away, you were done with me. I had more love to give. I looked for someone who is more like you, which wasn't you. Maybe someone had the concept of you. That's what I chased the most. I just wanted you. I struggled accepting the idea of you with someone who wasn't you. I guess I needed to settle for you. You didn't want me, and I struggled with that, though. What could I do? I wore my heart on my sleeve. It was attached to my arm. Anyone could see. Stitched and stoned in blood, that was me. I could cry. I would bleed. For that love that I couldn't contain. I painted pictures of women, those who may act like you, talk like you, think like you, and look like you. Image just kept splattering out. You, you, you. I couldn't escape the idea, picture, thought, and love for you. I got lost swimming an idea of you. My skull the tank, my brain the fish, bouncing off each wall, a memory each hit. I got lost smoking dreams of you. I light my joint and beg for you. Each puff of smoke a distant memory fades and invades my lungs of you. Let it sink deep in me, making me high, just like you. Stoned in a feeling I want to go home, back to you. It was love that my heart can't contain, that breath of you. Yeah, dude, I spent some time on that because I think it speaks to a lot of relationships.
Yeah, yeah.
That thing's
Man,
heavy, dude.
bro, that's so real, man. Because you know, like oftentimes, like people spend their time trying to find, like how you just said, like they try to find somebody else, like they was just with in somebody else. You know, like
Yep.
this person, I need to find her in another person, but it's like we're all unique and all different in so many ways. So it's like it's hard to find that, man.
Bro, and that's what it's about, man. That is so what it's about. And it's like I try and take things that like maybe you did together, like the idea of smoking together or going and like fishing, and like every time, like my favorite part about that is talking about the skull. He's like, the skull is me and the fish, and the skull is the bull and I'm the fish. And every time I hit a wall, I think of you. It's a different memory. And I'm just like, dude, that's like
Yeah,
overthinking to the max about someone.
yeah, yeah. Yeah. It's like relationships and stuff, like when that done and over, like oftentimes you find yourself like you stop thinking about that person, this and that, you go, all right, cool. But then like something like random just happens and you
You
have
go
like a
down one
flashback.
street and there it
You're like,
is.
wait, hold on, wait, what? Now you're just thinking about that person, you know?
Yeah, man. They're rough. It's rough.
Well, man, let's try to move back up, man. But how's the Twitch thing, man? How's it going with Twitch?
Dude, I've slowed down a little just because of working and stuff, but playing actually is like cool because we're kind of waiting for a new game to come out so we can all get together and get back on, but like everyone still stays connected. It was actually my buddy Mike's, who lives over in Bryn's 31st birthday or 28th birthday yesterday, and I remember just telling him, I was like, dude, I want you to know it's been 8 months since we've met. And I was like, it felt like years, you
Yeah.
know? So I think Twitch has brought a lot of really good friends to me, which is really sweet. And I got a lot of good, close people. And I think it's a great way to stay in touch with people and, you know, just reach out and hang out with people. So it's fun. It's enjoyable. You know, it's to keep in touch. We're just waiting to come back off something that's a little more enjoyable for everyone to watch, because right now it's just kind of dead with Call of Duty, you know? So that's where we're all at with that. So short answer for that one.
I got you, man. I got you, man. Bro, I've been peeping. You've been playing with the pops, man.
Yeah, bro. Oh yeah, my dad plays with us now. That's hilarious. He actually, like, he's got the setup right next to me. It's hilarious. He's so funny, dude. We win a game the other night. It's just me and him playing, and I had like 27 kills and he had 2, and he's freaking out. High five me, give it, put it up here. I'm like, bro, simmer down here. You got like 2. But then he'll, like, when the squad plays together and he kills somebody, everyone freaks out. Everyone's screaming and yelling. They're like, yeah, let's go. Come on, Al. And I'm laughing. I'm cracking up, dude. That's the stuff that you got to do. I like that he's trying, you know? That's a big thing. That's a big thing. It's funny.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, man. That like not trying to be like super deep or nothing, but like, it just makes me think about like a father son relation, like how great it probably feels with him, like being your father, like you guys are bonding, you know, like having that connection with your son, like seeing your son do something that he's great at, you know, and you're able to like be along that journey and that process, and you witness it, you know.
Dude, it goes all the way back to what we were saying super early. He sucks at it, but he has so much fun doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's literally it, dude. We drop some really good, like, key things, like do things you suck at, have fun, enjoy your life. Like, it's been fun. This is good. I like these.
Yeah, man, that was a great way to bring it like full circle, man. Yeah.
Hmm.
Man, is there anything else, man, you'd like to say to the people before we tip off, man?
Yeah, I think that if anything that I want to say and really just leave for people is like, treat yourself, be happy with you, don't let other people's opinions and stuff really weigh you down, because like I said earlier, it's your speck of dust. Paint it, color it, have fun with it, treat your dust to what you want to do, and follow what you love, even if other people disapprove of it. Do what you love and try new things, go with that impulse. Those first 3 seconds, just say yes and run with it.
Mhm.
Just do it. Why not?
Man, man, let everybody know they can follow you at, man.
Yeah, you can. My Instagram is Mentis1. I post a lot. I'm gonna be posting a lot of poetry and stuff on that. If you watch Twitch, it's Diablo600. That's pretty much the only two things I'm really on. But I'll be posting a lot more poetry coming up here. Kind of hyping my stuff up, getting ready for it. So
All right,
that'll
man.
be fun.
I'm gonna enjoy seeing the rollout, man. You know I'm gonna enjoy it, man.
Oh, absolutely, brother. Always.
Yes, sir, man. And like for all the listeners out there, man, that's it from the latest episode. Checking in with Brando. To hear more relatable, great conversations, watch the other episodes. Checking in with Brando. Watch the other content that we have on the All American State of Mind YouTube channel, man. And go check out my guy on Twitch, bro. And go check out the poetry book he has out now. Talk about it, man. Tell him the book, man.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. It's called The Written Voice of a Quiet Generation. It's about 4 years old now. It reaches out to people that have, it's got 4 chapters in it. It's sadness, anger, happiness, and love. And it's deep. It's something you reread. It's not something you sit down and read through. It's when you're in a place and you need something, or you need some comfort, or to know that someone's there and understands that, you sit down and you read it. I have a poem in there about my grandfather passed away, my mom's mom and my dad's mom, and every now and then I know that they sit down and just they read into it, because I capture an image for them, and that's what that whole thing in there is. That whole book is literally to try and capture an image for you. So,
Man. Hey, and that's it, man. We out.